Hey guys, greetings to all the Flamengo fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. We're here in the press area. Brazil and Croatia, the game is about to start, and we're going to have a chat here while we watch the Brazil game. Let's have a chat here. With my friend Jairzinho Carvalho, my great friend Jairzinho Carvalho, a great journalist. He's here checking out the products so he can buy them.
That's it.
He liked my light.
The equipment here and all.
But today I'm going to use the iPhone audio today. Hey Jairzinho, first just letting everyone know here, look, those who know the game are following along here. Haroldo's caravan for you to travel and follow Flamengo's games all over Brazil and the world. In Brazil, Maracanã, with tickets. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about, first, Italy, right, man? Italy got eliminated, actually. They didn't even make it to Portugal, right, man? I was watching the game before coming here. It's impressive, right? It went to penalties. Italy, out of another World Cup. My wife is upset. My wife is Italian.
No, not me. Honestly, I'd love to see Italy in the World Cup because I enjoy watching the big national teams. Bosnia's group is Bosnia, it's Qatar. It's a terrible group, man. You know, the World Cup when it had 16 teams.
But the one who avoided the tricky matchup was Atalot, right? Imagine if he had to face Italy for Brazil or face Sweden.
Yeah. Brazil could face the second place team from Sweden or the Netherlands.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this. Imagine Brazil and Italy. How would Atalotti's heart handle that?
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm rooting for the national teams.
He really makes it look easy, Henrique, huh?
The way he plays for me, he has to be a starter, right? Seriously, damn.
You're crazy, I'll tell you, man. I really want to see Estevam, too. I want Estevam to shine in this cup. I think Luis Henrique will do really well. He's a very good player, but it's impressive. Another World Cup without Italy, right?
A World Cup without Italy is a symptom, and Italian soccer needs to be rethought, right? There's no point in saying otherwise. This is a reflection of that time.
No, do you know whose fault it is? They lost on penalties. Who's the king of penalties? He should have gone with Italy.
Jorginho?
Jorginho, man. If he had taken Jorginho, he would have done the little hop. He would have scored the penalty.
Honestly, Jorginho began missing penalties because he got Italy knocked out.
No, really, in the previous cycle.
In the previous cycle, you know?
Yeah.
That's true, but those players play more, right? Jorginho is another who plays in a suit. The way he handles the ball, he's a monster. Flamengo really got it right.
Man, let's go. We've been following this, and I actually reported that I spoke to a Flamengo director about Cebolinha's situation. He really didn't want to renew his contract. He'd already said so, and he even said in the mixed zone that he wasn't going to renew it. And today we once again got the information that Cebolinha, GE reported that Cebolinha has decided not to renew his contract.
What luck for Flamengo. He's a terrible player who spent most of his time in the medical department after being signed. He played 10 good games.
But Flamengo needs to recover their money, right? They spent 16 million euros. That signing was embarrassing back then, under Vieira, who was having problems at Benfica. What else do you need? I'm signing here, 16,000, come over.
That signing was a shame.
Do you know what happened to me? I went to a Benfica game there in Portugal in the stands, and a Benfica fan came up to me and said, man, thank you so much. 16 million euros.
Hey, for Cebolinha, that was something Tite came up with in that ridiculous Copa America that we won.
2 matches for Flamengo last year. He had some good moments.
He had some good moments, but that's not enough for the world's biggest team. Do you agree with me? The good moments he had are not enough for him to play for Flamengo. Flamengo is a different story, a different level. Now,
he was also really unlucky, right? He had a lot of injuries, had that damn Achilles tendon issue. That's terrible, right? He almost didn't have an Achilles tendon, didn't use Adriano around the ball. Yeah.
How do you sign a substitute player from Benfica? Cebolinha never played at Benfica. He was a substitute.
Flamengo is bigger than Benfica.
Exactly. Do you understand?
So, does anyone doubt Flamengo is bigger than Benfica? People in the chat, isn't Flamengo bigger than Benfica?
1,000,000 times.
Flamengo is much bigger than Benfica. If you put Flamengo and Benfica to compete in the Champions League, Flamengo goes further. Cairo said it.
For sure. I think for Flamengo, it's a good thing. Flamengo has to think about it.
People here want to stay updated on the news too. I'll keep talking about Cebolinha here, but if you want to know the news from Minas Gerais, Cruzeiro, the national team, how can people find you online?
It's Carvalho Sports, right? That's my YouTube channel. My Instagram is Jairzinho Carvalho Official. and we're in this together. I'm a Flamengo and Cruzeiro fan, right? And I was born a Flamengo fan. I've covered Cruzeiro for many years. I lived in Minas Gerais for 30 years, and I've been living in Miami for 10. So we have that love for Cruzeiro too. But here, look, my heart beats red and black. Me, my father, my brother, and Socrates, we're all right.
Man, and I met Nelson yesterday. He said, just go there and eat, man.
I went there today for lunch, man. I had lunch there. Every day I had lunch there.
Boy Brazil, best steakhouse.
Check out Mudo making it look effortless. He plays so well.
He plays really well. Boy Brazil, the best steakhouse in Orlando by far. Man, can you believe that you won't believe what I like to eat at Boy Brazil. Cheese bread.
Wonderful.
It's the best cheese bread. I think it's better than in Brazil. It's better than in Minas.
It's better than in Minas.
It's not better like that. They have a recipe. Man, it's so light, dude. That's crazy. I said that Brazil was going to win easily. And there was a guy who said Croatia was going to win 4-0. I said, what's that, man? I said, come on, saying 4-0 Croatia, that's not possible. Well, let's keep going here, Cebolinha. Come on, guys. So you haven't followed yet? Go to Jairzinho Carvalho Oficial on Insta, Jairzinho Carvalho Sports on YouTube.
Just catching a little spill over here.
There's no leftovers here.
You're our idol.
You're my friend. Your page has been pretty stagnant, man. You deserve to be followed. I want to take this moment I showed him, man, to say thank you. We've kept over 230 million views on our profile.
Your audience is huge, man.
Per month, I just showed him here now, a huge 235 million views in the last 30 days.
Just a small post, sir, has 3.5 million.
A post with 3.5 million.
And how many? 200 something, 130,000 likes.
Yeah, it's you who are here, who are going to follow Jairzinho. You're responsible for this success. Yeah, man, it's such a cool job we're doing. It's my first time covering the Brazilian national team. I also want to thank Hugo here.
And Fabio, you're mistaken. You've been covering a national team for years, and that's Flamengo.
Huh? Is that how you see it? Yeah, it's true. The Brazilian team, the red and black one, I've covered them for a long time. I think I did cover the national team, but I don't like to remember it. 7-1, man, forget it. Back in your Minas, forget it. It had to be there, right?
Also a team with Fred, Hulk, and Bernardo messing around with me.
No, it was Filipão. It was so bad that I even thought Tito was what I said.
He always leaves destruction behind.
Then damn, Tito, it was Croatia that we're facing today. Really? So, JC, tell me.
Man.
Once again, thank you all for this amazing audience. It's 1 billion views in 3 months. That's spectacular.
That's it.
Cebolinha already said he isn't going to renew his contract, so what now? Today's information is this. Flamengo will try to move him to get any cash, get anything, any little bit to try. To reduce the loss, Cebolinha's signing cost 16 million euros.
Shame, what a shame.
Do you really think they should sell him? Get 3, 4, maybe 5 million, I don't know. 5 probably won't happen. Let's say they get 3 million.
I'll tell you something. If you add the salary savings to what they'll get, 3 or 4 million, I think that already helps a bit because there's no way.
Because the salary, let's say, is 800,000, maybe 1 million per month. I know, but right now I don't remember Cebolinha's salary. I forgot.
He must be making 1 million or more, right? The guy came from Benfica to Flamengo, right?
1 million. So you calculate that there are 8 more months this year, so...
In the third one, it's...
Let's count about 10 what a team Croatia has. Croatia...
Damn, how they passed the ball, right?
But they struggled against Poland, okay? I saw the game here. They struggled against Poland. They scored first. But look, so 10 million, let's count 10 million raised. We're talking about $2 million, about 1.5 million euros, maybe even 3.5 million euros. So to release him earlier in June, it's not worth it.
It's worth it?
No, you have to save less on wages.
But then you have to see who's going to pay for that, right? We know that this month, I think it's hard. We know that in the middle of the year, he'll be free.
Pre-contracting isn't allowed, but he can only leave at the end of the year. If the guy needs someone right now, he'll want it now. So I asked a source close to the board if Flamengo would sell him if some money came in, and the answer I got was that for a Brazilian club, no. Flamengo won't strengthen a Brazilian rival. Even later, at the end of the year, he can leave anyway. Here's the thing. Cruzeiro is one that's interested.
I'm not sure if Arthur Jorge wants Cebolinha on the team.
But the thing is that Cruzeiro is interested in him, so what was I going to tell you? Cruzeiro is interested in Cebolinha, okay? And that's information we already have in the headline. Cruzeiro is interested in Cebolinha.
So, but that's what I was going to tell you. It was about tight, right?
Can you look into this for us?
Yeah, I can call there today because then we talk and I'll let you know what comes out.
right? But what I found out from Flamengo's management is that Flamengo doesn't want it. Even if it's to save some money, right?
Yeah.
Strengthening a Brazilian team 6 months in advance, you know? In the Brazilian Championship, Flamengo would rather keep him until year's end and let him go for free. But if it's abroad, they'll negotiate.
I think they could try. In the Arab world, it would be good. For Cebolinha, anyone.
4 million euros, 4 million euros, that already saves him, right? Would you lower it then? The total losses from signing Cebolinha. So that's it, okay? Is Cebolinha really not staying at Flamengo? That information has been confirmed. In fact, they just told us. The idea is not to negotiate, not to let him go, yeah. The player is under contract not to negotiate with the Brazilian club.
They're too fast. They're very fast. Behind Ibanejo, everything. It's our time. What's this?
Man, Ibanejo, I think it's Ibanejo.
It's tough. There are a lot of fullbacks. Look, Sandro is an experienced fullback, but he gets injured a lot too, right, man? It's complicated. For the World Cup, I don't know, but Atlantico has already secured Danilo, right? I disagree with bringing a player just because he's good with the group. Danilo has already done his part for the national team as a right back.
No, mas olha só.
Zagueiro fez golaço contra o
Mas
Palmeiras.
but he's still in good physical shape, although Alexandra, I can tell he's already feeling the effects of age. Danilo, he keeps himself in good shape and all.
So I think Danilo was an exemplary athlete.
I think Danilo is that experienced player that you take to every World Cup, you know? Yeah, so I actually think it's normal to have a player like Danilo. I think that's why I think he doesn't take him. Thiago Silva's not going to take 3 or 4 experienced players. He'll choose 1 or 2 at most. That's the case with Danilo, who I think has quality.
I'll tell you.
I would criticize anyone else. Exactly, I would criticize anyone else, but I think I'm not here to convince you, no. But I think Danilo deserves it. Because even so, if you stop to think about his age and everything else besides the character he mentioned, I think more important than character and personality, which are important for leadership and all that. On top of that, you'll see on Thursday in Vito's interview, stay tuned. I'm interviewing Vito. He's going to talk about Danilo. That's the most important thing. It's that the guy is still playing. Man, the guy did it. The title-winning goal in the Libertadores, he soared, scored a header, didn't even jump. I think he's still a decisive player. He proved himself. He made his case for the World Cup. Do you understand? Yes, so far. It's been 3 months, right?
There's a player you trust, and
Do you agree that a goal like the one he scored qualifies him? He's decisive. Above all, he's decisive. The guy is serious. Honestly, I don't usually make excuses for these things now.
I'm going to study a bit. Look at Flamengo's influence. If he played for another team, he wouldn't be on the national team. It's only because he's at Flamengo, which shows their strength. If Fabio were Flamengo's goalkeeper, then he would have played in 3 World Cups.
Maybe.
I do believe so, man.
Flamengo's strength is really huge.
It's gigantic. There's no denying it. I was talking once with Toninho Cerezo back in the 1980s. I stayed at his place in Rome for a while, and he said, Jair C., for us who play in Minas to get into the Brazilian national team, we have to play 10 times better than the best player from Rio de Janeiro. It was true. It's true. True. It's true.
And what did you think about the Botafogo situation, which has gone 2 months without paying image rights fees? And FGT?
That's a shame. It's a shame.
According to O Globo.
Guys, this is a shame, Asaf. When the SAF model came into soccer, you thought it had come to solve the problem and that there wouldn't be delays.
There you go. Surrogate team wins 2 Brazilian Libertadores titles but doesn't pay anyone. Messes with everyone. Man, that's wrong. They should be relegated.
Atletico's SAF, Cruzeiro's SAF, passionate and billionaire owners, Botafogo's SAF. It's an investor who came from abroad.
Who has no history, used the club as a vehicle to make money. Messed around with Leon, with I don't know who else, you know.
He gave fans hope in 24, but how many more years will they go without winning anything else?
And then what happens? I mentioned earlier, they might be losing players for free, right? They could become free agents in the market.
He put together the whole team.
He brought in Danilo and Alex Telles. People think they'll become free agents due to unpaid wages.
Let me tell you something. I saw Botafogo against Atletico Paranense. I was shocked by Botafogo's team. I watched it next to Gonçalves there at Boa Brazil, and I was shocked.
Terrible team. Met Gonçalves here today.
Terrible team, even as I was taking second at Boa Brazil. Today, before the game,
He's there. Let me ask you something. Do you think this totally ruins SAF's reputation in Brazil?
it doesn't totally ruin the reputation, but fans of some clubs that want to adopt the SAF model will think twice before it happens. Look, let's go Brazil. Shoot, it's a goal. Wow. We're going to think twice before it happens. Now, for example, you take Flamengo, you take Valdero. Those aren't going to adopt the SAF model. They never will. They don't need to. Flamengo will never be a SAF. The problem with SAF is this. No matter how passionate Gonçalves is, he's the owner.
And are you in favor of this SAF in Rio?
The owners of Flamengo are 50 million Brazilians. No one can take that away.
But if you had to choose two things first, I want to tell you first. If you had to choose, who would you choose? Would you also choose the ones I chose, Álvaro Montoro and Danilo Botafogo?
For Flamengo yesterday, Danilo played really well.
This midfielder is really good.
Really good. And Montoro, what a player. We know how to produce number 10s. We don't even have a number 10, and we keep producing them every day. There's Almada, who was at Atletico Madrid, Tito Botafogo together with Luis Enrique, and now this kid.
Montoro and this Vasco Saf, Carminha's stepson, what do you think?
I think it's like this. The law has to... Where's the fair play?
That's strange. Isn't there any fair play? It's odd that the son of Crefisa's owner is also the president of Palmeiras. You can't have two teams controlled by the same person.
Group, it's her stepson. It's a group, and we actually know it's a group. That's it. So...
It can't work like that, right?
It can't work. Where's the fair play? I don't think it's going to work. The CBF over there used some guarantors, those guys.
They want guys who make things happen.
They want...
Then this mess that we're seeing ends up at Botafogo while Flamengo...
For the second time...
Apparently, right? It's not normal or going to work out because you didn't pay attention to what's happening. The guys go, join a team, buy Libertadores players, invest, then pull a scam and don't pay anyone. Then they declare bankruptcy, file for bankruptcy protection, and then what happens? The CBF hasn't created any regulations yet. I talked to everyone, even from Flamengo. I talked to the president, to Bafo. I talked to everyone. Nobody can tell me. I asked like this. Come here, what happens now? If Botafogo's SAF declares bankruptcy, does the relegation stay with the SAF or with the parent club? Nobody talks about it. There's no article talking about it. I found an article from URL 2 years ago, 3 years ago, saying the following, that they were still going to decide who would get the relegation in case of a bankruptcy with the SAF. Either with this, it's a joke, or with the social club. So what happens? No, just listen. I looked for someone from Botafogo, and the person from Botafogo told me no, it stays. The spot in Serie A stays with the parent club. Then I said, come on, for God's sake. So the guy goes there, invests, steals, doesn't pay, because for me, not paying is stealing. The guy goes there, messes things up, does what he did, wins a title without financial fair play. Right, man? It's a huge scam.
He doesn't have the background to be president of Botafogo.
Then the guy goes and declares bankruptcy, and the spot in Serie A stays with them. Then the team goes there, hires people, becomes in SAF again, right? Then it becomes a vicious cycle, and there's never any punishment. For me, the spot in Serie A has to stay with the SAF. If the SAF declared bankruptcy, that's it. Botafogo has to start in the 4th division.
4th division. I agree with you, that's it.
Is there anything crazy about what I'm saying?
No, it's reality. Because who runs football is the SAF. Exactly. Social club is social club. Look, I'm getting scared. Oh, wow. Well,
my friends, we're here following the last friendly before the final list, right? And then after that, we have Panama, and here in the United States again. Yeah, but then there's Egypt still here in the United States, okay? The farewell at Maracanã with Panama and Egypt here in the United States, okay? So, it's Brazil's last friendly now during the FIFA international window, the last one before the final list, and I'm not going to do a post-game for the national team. Yeah, this is a video of us analyzing the game. I think Brazil is doing well in the game. Croatia too. It's an open match, but Brazil isn't doing badly. I don't think Brazil is...
No.
Croatia has a lot of quality.
Croatia, Bosnia, which qualified today over Italy. These teams are from the Yugoslav school. They had great players, talents, rare ones. So you see Mora had Ancelotti. He plays, there's no player in the world like Mora, 40 years old.
Yeah, look.
But I think Brazil is much better than Croatia.
No, much better. But no, Croatia is dangerous.
Croatia is dangerous, Croatia.